Next game, Bears at the Vikings. This line opened up Vikings -4.5. It's down to 3. So it looks like sharp money coming in on the Bears. Who do you like here?
I didn't go with the sharps in the Bears game last week, not making that mistake again. Weirdly enough, Mitchell Trubisky actually has looked good recently, and he's showing improvement this year, which, take that for what it's worth. It's not like he's playing elite or anything, but he's at least showing signs of being a competent quarterback. Maybe not a starter, but we'll see what he can do. The thing that I like about the Bears offense with Trubisky is that he's mobile. When they played the Vikings earlier in the year, Nick Foles was their quarterback. And, I think you and I both had the Vikings as underdogs on the road against Minnesota, or they might have been favorites. I can't remember. But it ended up being a 19-13 game where Chicago, I think, had like 108 yards of offense or something stupid like that. And their only touchdown came on a Cordero Patterson kick return. I think with Trubisky in there, he can at least run around and make the defense half work from side to side as the Foles just standing in the pocket like a statue, and them just being like, all right, just follow his eyes and we'll be fine. So I think Trubisky adds that element to this game for the Vikings. And I know the Vikings defense is better than that of the Texans, but I think that the Bears have the edge here. They just have a better defense that really contained Kirk Cousins last time they played. And with their offense playing better, I could see the Bears winning this outright. So we're getting 3 points on the Bears here. I like it, and I think that the Vikings are also going to be looking ahead a little bit, just because they have a game that said it was on Christmas Day, which I didn't believe at first. But apparently there's a game on Friday.
Yep.
There is. Okay. That wasn't me being crazy then. So they're on a short week too. So I don't think they're going to overlook the Bears because it's a divisional rivalry, but they have to play the Saints after that. And the Vikings are kind of crunching ways that they can make the playoffs. So they're going to be a little bit distracted by that Saints game, I think, because they know they have to win it to stay in the race probably. So I think that the Bears could come in here and make this really tough on the Vikings, could win and end their season. So I'm going to be on the Bears here.
Yeah, talk about divorce package games. the Christmas game. That's brutal. I don't know if my wife knows about that yet, but she's not going to be too happy. Anyway, yeah, I actually like the Vikings depending on one thing, and that would be Eric Kendricks. Like if he plays, I like the Vikings. If not, I like the Bears. Eric Kendricks is such an important player for the Vikings. Like as soon as he went out, he was declared out last week. I went from Tampa being like a 4 to 5 unit pick to being my pick of the month. Like that's how important he is. He's one of the best linebackers in the NFL. And with considering all the injuries the Vikings have had defensively, he's kind of like been the glue that's held everything together. And without him on the field, they're down 7 starters. And it's like, okay, yeah, Mr. Trubisky should be able to play well. So yeah, definitely going to be on the Bears if Kendricks is out. Now, if Kendricks is going to play, I actually like the Vikings because I think Trubisky is going to kind of ensnare bettors and then kind of make them regret betting him. Like he's kind of like that, like the Venus flytrap really of quarterbacks. Like he looks great sometimes just because of his talent level, but you kind of have to remember, like he played really well against the Lions and the Texans, who were no-shows, the 2 of the worst defenses in the NFL. Now, like the Vikings don't have a great defense at all, but if Kendricks is there, like they're at least competent. And I think that Kendricks could intercept them, get a pick 6, something like that. And then, considering the injuries the Bears have in their offensive line, I think it could be problematic. So, it really depends on Kendricks' status. Like, I really need to see that. I just don't know yet. We got a question. Is Trubisky getting paid this offseason? He's definitely going to be in the NFL. Like Blaine Gabbert's been a backup for how many years, even though he's been terrible. So yeah, he's going to be at least a backup somewhere. I don't see anyone bringing him in as a starter unless there's like an injury in training camp and then like someone's desperate or something.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's going to end up being kind of like a developmental project backup, like not quite in the Marcus Mariota neighborhood with the Raiders, but I think of that similar ilk, like some team with a shaky quarterback situation could bring him in, offer him backup money and say, hey, you can work with our coaches, develop a little bit, and we'll see where it takes you. I don't know what that team may be, but he's going to end up somewhere as a backup, and he could end up being a top backup because that mobility is a difference maker. Because, I mean, if he can at least throw solid enough and he can move around, it'll keep defenses off balance.
Yeah, he's too young and too talented for teams to give up on him. Like one of the 32 teams or other 31 teams will give him a chance somewhere, and he's going to be someone's going to develop him. The thing with him is just mental. Like he just doesn't see the field well. He can't read defenses, and maybe that's something that can't be developed. But like some quarterbacks have gotten better in that regard. So I wouldn't completely give up on him, but I still think he's a long shot to be a good quarterback in the future. Anyway.